Good afternoon. I am Karl, CEO and Executive Director of the Water and Power Authority. I'll be providing an update on the tropical storm Ernesto power restoration efforts. But first, let me say that today was a rather somber day for the employees of the Water and Power Authority. We laid to rest Michael Edwards, Jr., who was a lineman apprentice in the line department on the island of St. Croix. He was tragically murdered a couple weeks ago. His father, Michael Edwards Sr., is a first-class lineman in the same line department. His mother, Indira Rivera Edwards, is a revenue assurance representative in our Sunny Isles business office. As you can imagine, some of our employees took a moment off this morning to pay their respects at Michael's funeral services. I personally want to extend my condolences to Michael Sr. and to Indira. We depend on our line workers every single day, and especially during times like these. They are much more valuable to this community than any single gold chain will ever be. With that said, as for the update on the power situation, as of this afternoon on St. Thomas, our crews are out working on feeders 7B, feeders 8B. We have Hogland VI assisting us on feeders 9C, and also addressing a double circuit pole that is down at our power plant in subbase that is affecting feeders 7A and 8A. In all, Hogland VI is assisting us with 9C, 6B, and that double circuit pole. Our crews are working, and our priority areas are to get 8B, 7B on this evening, as well as 9C. As of this afternoon, we had 11,983 customers online. That's about 45% of the customer base. Over on St. John, our crews are converging on the 891 customers still out, and those are primarily on feeder 7E. Over on the island of St. Croix, we'll be trying to pick up 8B this afternoon. We are working on 6A. We think we can start closing circuits on 6A probably within the next hour or so. We are working on 6B. We're also on 7B. Hogland VI is out on 9B, assisting us with a pole change out. That's going to allow us to pick up the Herbert Grigg Home for the Elderly. In all, Hogland is assisting us on feeders 9B, 8B, and 10B. As of this afternoon, we had 10,354 customers online, which is about 43% of St. Croix's load, and we think we're going to be able to make steady progress going into the evening hours. Our crews are going to work at least for the next 4 hours, and possibly a little longer than that, depending on how much progress we make this evening. Our business offices will be open at normal hours starting tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. That's on all 3 islands. We have also opened up our Tropical Storm Ernesto call center. That's being staffed until 8 p.m. this evening. We have several employees manning the phones there. The number to call is 715-8007. That number is 715-8007. We will be there answering calls until 8 p.m. this evening. So far, we have fielded about 226 calls. By 3 p.m. this afternoon, we had fielded 226 calls to that number. If your feeder is out, as in one of those mentioned earlier that we are working on at this time, there's absolutely no need for you to call that number. We already know that your feeder is out. We are working on that feeder. We are requesting calls from individuals who have had their feeders restored, but they still have no power to their homes or businesses. Those are the calls that we're seeking out. So if you're in that situation, please feel free to use the call center's number. That's 715-8007. Only if your feeder has been restored and you feel that you, for some reason, are still out of power on that feeder. Unless, of course, there's an emergency situation, if there's a pole that is leaning dangerously, pole that's broken, obstructions in the roadway, then by all means, please call the call center. You have up until 8 p.m. if there's any dangerous situations that you think we should be made aware of. I want to thank the 16 employees that are answering those phones in the call centers tonight for going above and beyond. I also want to thank the volunteers over in the Emergency Operations Center for leading this coordinated effort to restore power in the Virgin Islands. I also want to give my thanks to the VIPD officers that are helping us with the traffic control, the Department of Public Works employees that are out there clearing streets and helping us take down vegetation, trees that are in the lines. And I want to thank Haglin VI for answering our call for assistance when we put that call out earlier today. I also want to thank the hard-working men and women of the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority who are all on the job doing their parts, their little piece in every little way that they can to make sure that our community is fully restored as quickly as we can restore it. And finally, to you, the customers, thank you for your patience. I ask that those of you that are still out exercise just a little more patience. We are moving as quickly as we can and trying to do so as safely as we can. With that, I wish you a good night. We'll be providing another update tomorrow morning. Please stay tuned to our official channels, whether on social media or our official press releases. Please look out for the WAPA alerts and, of course, that information that comes through the Joint Information Command over at VITEMA. Thank you and good night.